What's up, guys? Before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's video, I wanted to first thank you for your continued support in watching these weapon reviews that I've been doing recently. It's been huge for me. I really do appreciate it. And my plan going forward right now is every Sunday, I do plan on releasing another new weapon video as long as there are new weapon videos to be made. So if you're enjoying the content, please keep on coming back, checking it out. I really appreciate it. I enjoy making it, and it means a lot to me to know that people are enjoying watching it. So with that being said, let's get into another weapon video today. We're going to talk about the Nullify Heavy Burst Pulse Rifle from Salvation's Edge. You've probably heard a little bit about this gun here and there. A lot of people are singing its praises, and having crafted it this past week, finally getting my frames, having dabbled with it a little bit in the weeks prior, this thing's incredible. I love it. It's a solar heavy burst, like I said, so it's a 2-round burst, similar to the Graviton Lance or one of the fire modes of the Revision Zero. It hits hard. In fact, that's what it says right on the frame. It is a hard-hitting 2-round burst that slightly reduces incoming flinch. And that might not sound like the biggest deal, but in PvE, when there's a ton of enemies firing at you from all kinds of different directions, especially in something like a raid encounter, it's nice knowing that you have a little bit better control over where your shots are going. We've all had that feeling of getting blindsided by an enemy and our screen starts going diagonal because we don't know what the hell is happening. This reduces some of that, and I have come to appreciate it, especially in harder content. You're going to see me running it in a GM today in the background footage here. It helps a lot, and it has helped me be more accurate with my shots. I feel like I'm playing better with the pulse rifle. It doesn't always look like it, unfortunately, but I do feel like I'm playing better with it. And that 2-round burst just feels really nice. It's this weird blend of almost a scout, not quite a traditional pulse, and it feels really nice in that little niche spot in between. I wasn't sure how I would feel about that, and I've really come to enjoy it quite a bit. There's a nice cadence to rattling off those shots that I find very satisfying. Also helps that the gun is kind of great. There's a lot of options for how you want to build this thing. It has a lot of range right off the rip, and what you're going to want to decide early on is if you want to build more handling or stability, because it's weak in both, and you really want to focus on one or the other if you want to make meaningful strides to change how the weapon feels in that regard. Me personally, I focused on stability. When you look at the barrels, you're going to see the common options. You're going to see the chambered compensator, the fluted barrel, polygonal, small bore, the very popular options. Now, I didn't feel like I needed any more range on this weapon, so I didn't go for small bore, and initially I had actually crafted this with polygonal, and then I changed it to chambered. Ultimately, in my final version of the weapon, I actually settled on arrowhead break. Everybody acts surprised. I recommended arrowhead break. But on this weapon, it really does make a difference. Having that 100 recoil direction gives you such a clean vertical line that is so easy to manage, especially with that reduced flinch from the frame. It is a delight to shoot. And that helps when you're building into stability. Once you have control over that recoil, your stability is just going to kind of tighten that burst ever so slightly. And so those shots are just going exactly where you want them. And it's such a major contributing factor to what makes this gun feel as good as it does. So I definitely recommend arrowhead break if you are going for stability. If you're going for handling, the obvious option here is going to be fluted. Those are really going to be your two best options. Those are the ones I would recommend. If you want to go wild, you could throw corkscrew on there. Not my number one pick. Going to mags, again, accurized not going to really be an option on this for me. I don't think this weapon needs any more range. It hits far enough, hard enough. I never had an issue. If you're building into handling, not really a lot you're going to get out of this. What I would recommend, magazine size. I initially crafted tactical mag because it does increase the magazine size, which I feel is important on a weapon like this, because generally speaking, it doesn't feel like you have as many shots in there as you think you do. You look at your magazine, you say, oh, 28 shots. Realistically, it's the same thing with every pulse rifle. That's, 14 bursts? And that's gone so fast, you don't even realize you fired it. So I like to expand that magazine. I also recommend, no matter what you do on it, putting a backup mag mod on this weapon. Huge recommend. Deepening those reserves, deepening that mag is going to make a world of difference. And that's what I did. That's what I would recommend anyone do, regardless of what they're building this into. I had tactical mag on there. I ultimately changed it to steady rounds. Again, because I wasn't going to miss the 5 range, but that extra 15 stability, adding the enhanced intrinsic frame for stability, bumps that up to a 61. The gun is smooth. It feels so nice. You aim just a hair above their head, and it's headshot city. It feels incredible. I love it. Highly, highly recommend you build this into stability, and just watch as you dump rounds and all the numbers are yellow. It is such a great feeling. I know a lot of guns can do that, but there's something about this one. It just feels different, and I love it. When you get to columns 3 and 4, there's a lot of options, but I only recommend really 2 per column, and it's going to depend on if you're trying to build a solar weapon or if you're trying to build a really strong pulse rifle. If you are trying to build a solar weapon, something for specifically a solar subclass, or if you're leaning solar on your prismatic build, your obvious choice here is going to be heal clip and incandescent. There's synergy there. You're going to be able to enhance your ignitions. Everything is going to explode in a blaze of fiery glory. You can choose to use Firefly with that, but I know a lot of people tend to lean towards heal clip when they have it. Me personally, there's a lot of guns that you can get builds similar to that on, and I wanted something a little bit different out of this weapon. I did choose Firefly because reload speed is another kind of ho-hum stat on this weapon. I wanted to make that a little stronger, so Firefly was huge. Firefly also adds a little bit of ad clear potential. That explosion is going to kill the other nearby ads. It's going to help you clear areas a little faster, get those groups of ads down quicker. It allows you to really benefit from the fact that this is a hard-hitting pulse rifle. It's going to clear rooms very quickly, regardless of if you have incandescent or not, and having Firefly just makes it that much more effective. The real perk that you want to have on here in the 4th column is going to be Chaos Reshaped. It is a brand new perk exclusive to raid weapons. It is, in basic terms, similar to Frenzy, but it is wildly different in functionality and honestly in usability. I have found with Chaos Reshaped, this weapon gains bonus damage while in combat for an extended time. Remaining in combat for an even longer time rewards a larger damage bonus and periodically heals the wielder. That is respectively 12 seconds and 24 seconds. That's cut down to 11 seconds and 22 seconds when enhanced. Similar to Frenzy, there is a window of opportunity here where you need to be in combat, you need to take damage or deal damage within 7 seconds of a combat event to keep that perk timer alive. Basically, if you do that, you shoot something, and then within the next 7 seconds, you shoot something else or get hit by something, you're going to keep that timer going, and odds are you're going to proc level 1. Level 1 gives you a 20% damage bonus. 20%. Now, you're not getting the reload or handling bonuses of Frenzy, which on a weapon like this might have actually been nice, but you're getting the extra 5%, and that's just level 1 of Chaos Reshaped. When you get to level 2, that damage bonus goes to 35%. 35%. That is the same damage bonus as One for All. And you can proc that without even having the weapon drawn. You can proc that during a boss phase and then come back and clear the ads with Chaos Reshaped. You can do that while pulling out your rocket sidearm and killing a yellow bar and a couple of orange bars, and then pulling out your weapon, and now you can kill these other orange bars, these red bars, and tear through them. 35% is a huge amount of damage to get on any primary, and to have the only requirement to get it be remaining in combat makes it really easy. I was honestly shocked by the amount of uptime I had on this weapon, running through the Pale Heart, doing overthrows, playing some Onslaught, running through strikes, running through a GM. My uptime on Chaos Reshaped, specifically level 2 of Chaos Reshaped, was staggering. It was so easy to maintain. It wasn't up 100% of the time. I'm not going to oversell you on the uptime of this perk, but it was always there when I needed it. And I got so used to seeing the damage numbers that I just thought, hey, this pulse is really strong. Not even thinking about the fact that Chaos Reshaped was up so much. I was shooting red bars in Sorrow's Harbor on the moon and doing 10,000 damage. Which, yeah, I get it. It's a red bar on the moon, but 10,000 damage from a primary is 10,000 damage from a primary. That's going to feel good regardless of the circumstances. On top of the damage bonus, you're also going to heal 30 HP every 7 seconds. So it's a little health bump every 7 seconds. I can tell you one time, and I believe it was in the GM, it might not be in the footage playing in the background here, but it was in a GM. I was dead to rights. I was in trouble. I misplayed my positioning, and that thing, that health tick hit and got me out of trouble. I'm not going to oversell it and tell you this is some miracle worker. It's going to save your life. But there will be times where 30 HP is the difference between life and death. And when it happens, you are going to be thanking me that you have Chaos Reshaped on this gun. If you're looking for a wild card 4th column option, something that isn't Chaos Reshaped or Incandescent, I would actually guide you towards multi-kill clip, because this weapon is strong enough in its base form that you can rattle off a lot of those kills. That's a 50% bonus at 3 stacks, which again, I understand is not nothing, and could technically be procced faster than Chaos Reshaped. The only thing I don't like about multi-kill clip is if you don't have an opportunity to get 3 kills on the next mag, you reload, now you're down to 15%. So it's a little inconsistent. It's not my favorite perk. I want to love multi-kill clip. I have not found the weapon that has made me fall in love with multi-kill clip, but it's there. If you want something and you're like, you know what, I don't want to wait, I want my instant gratification, that is an option there that I do believe is viable on this weapon. Now, when it comes to the origin trait, I'm not super impressed with Collective Purpose. Gain bonus range and handling when near allies. Bows receive faster draw time, and swords receive faster charge rate. The effect scales with the number of nearby allies. I have never really noticed this origin trait in action. If it has happened, it was in the heat of the moment, and it wasn't something I was paying attention to. I can tell you that when it comes to 1 player, 2 players, you're not really going to feel that. It's cool. It's there. It's something that's passive and active if you're playing with friends. If you're playing alone, too bad, so sad, I guess. I'm sorry. But this gun just feels so good. And I have been itching to get my hands on a primary that has felt like something I could use across Destiny, kind of in the way that old Recluse was. I'm not saying I want a sandbox where, 1 gun is clearly standing above all the others. But there is something to be said when a weapon is effective enough. And most of the time it's exotics. It's guns like Sunshot, where you can use it in any content and it doesn't really feel like it's ineffective. It always feels like it's doing its job. Nullify feels like the rare pulse rifle that you don't have to take off for any kind of content. It's never going to be a detriment to you to have a weapon that hits as hard as this one does, has the versatility of range that this one does, and has the types of perks that this weapon has access to. It is a jack of all trades, but much better than that. It's not that it's not a master of none, it's really a master of its class. And I'm very much looking forward to future heavy burst pulse rifles. If Nullify is the example and the base at which all of these respective class of weapons is going to be compared, I'm very much looking forward to the future of this particular archetype. I would not be surprised if heavy burst pulse rifles became the pulse rifle meta in PvE. I've heard mixed things in PvP. I haven't brought mine in there. As far as I'm aware, the time to kill is not ideal. It is not a great dueling weapon. If you catch people by surprise, I hear it's good. This is not the type of gun that I'm going to bring into PvP. I played with Revision Zero a little bit with this mode back in the day and wasn't super impressed, so I'm not eager to bring this in. But it's something to think about if you don't like scout rifles but kind of like playing back and plinking away at people. Could be an option. If you guys have Nullify and you're in love with the role, let me know down below. If you haven't gotten it yet, definitely, check out the Salvation's Edge raid. If you guys need help with it, leave me a message down in the comments. I do read them. I do reply snidely if you're rude, so... But, and if you're nice, I'll reply too, and I won't be snide about it. But if you guys are looking to run the raid, I'm happy to help. I'm not really a guide type of guy when it comes to that, so I'm not going to put out any, raid videos or anything. But, if there's enough people, hey, why not get a run going? That could be fun, huh? As always, really appreciate you guys for hanging out, watching my videos, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.